After a little snafu here, I am back live. So I'm having a little trouble with the whole scheduling live from the computer and then doing it on my phone. So let me just get you adjusted and in place here. Uh, okay, let's see. That. Okay. Make it. See if I can get back to my channel here on my screen so that I can see what you're seeing. Okay, I think that is me live. Okay, I just heard myself say that. So I will wait just a minute for anyone who happened to be on the other live. I'm going to have to go into, goodness, let's see. Okay, let's delete that. Okay. Hopefully that worked. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this worked. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come into here and say, okay. All right, now, sorry, thanks for bearing with me here for a minute. Gotta come into the YouTube studio and delete that one. There we go. Okay, I understand. All right. I should be good at this point. And hopefully, good morning. There you are. Hi, Keisha. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't lose you in the mess that was going on there. I tried to set up the live on the computer and then run it on my phone And for some reason, it just really doesn't like to do that. So I'm going to have to figure out, maybe look up some tutorials, a little YouTube University on how to do that better and make that more seamless. Um, Today I'm going to actually try and use up a kit that I have. Um, a lot of people get these kits and don't really know what to do with them. And I don't usually use it kind of the way it's intended to be used. Um, but I do like to use them. So as you can see, I've used little bits and pieces here and there of it already. But I think these kits are a great way for people who don't necessarily use stickers all the time to just have a couple little stickers that they can use. I absolutely love these little cactuses and the little camel and everything. It's so cute. Um, and this week it's going to be pretty hot here, so um, it's fitting. It's going to be in the 90s here. Um, but anyway, I thought I would show how, because if you get the kits with the extra sheet, that third sheet, it does have little kind of washi strips at the bottom of the third sheet. And so I haven't used those yet on this kit, so I'm going to go ahead and use them here. And I use this kind of the same way I would use a washi. So I'm going to put it right at 10. And again, I do this mainly because when this is cute, it makes me come back in here and look at it more often. And then I'm better about being like on time and paying attention to where I need to be. Stickers are totally fun. I love sticker fun as well. Um, it is. So I'm going to keep that piece. I might use it for something else on here, or I might just use it later. Um, I am still just using a ruler to cut. I'm not doing anything with scissors on this because that's just way too much work to get out scissors. I might have to at some point when I cut down, if I want to cut down other stickers, but for right now, um, we will just make do. So there we go. I have got, just like that, I've got a bottom to my page, and that's the end of my day. And I have some stickers that I pulled out, these little hot air balloons. I am actually going to add these because St. Louis apparently has this humongous balloon race every year. And I've never even heard of it, but you can go on Friday night and look at the balloons, and then on Saturday you can watch, in the morning you can watch the balloon race. So I'm just going to kind of add these down here over the little desert. So I grabbed some that I've had these stickers for countless years. I used to just use them occasionally as decor. I do like the rugged torn paper look too. Sometimes I use it occasionally, but if I want a straight edge, the best thing to do is just take a metal ruler and hold it and tear it. If you don't need a straight edge, then it really doesn't matter. But if you want a straight edge, you can always do that. But I've had these stickers forever. I have no idea where I got them. And I have a whole bunch of them, way more than anyone that has, just a minor passing interest in hot air balloons should ever have. But they're pretty and cute, and I like them. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these on here for just across the bottom of Friday and Saturday, just to be fun. So let's put the yellow one in the middle. Oh yeah, I could definitely take you guys out to the balloon race. That would be fun. Um, I think at night will be the most interesting to see them all lit up. Um, so yeah, I'll bring a camera, and I'm sure there will be a lot of people with cameras there, so maybe I won't feel so weird about being there with a camera myself. That sounds like a great idea. All right, so we're just gonna put some little balloons across the bottom. And let's see, I think I'm gonna take those cactuses you like so much, and I think I'm gonna put those right here in this corner, just to kind of add a little something. I could have gone all the way over with just the washi, but I think it adds a little something to have just that little character. And maybe we'll top it off. I know these are really, the idea is that these go over each day, but I never use them that way. I figure they're my stickers now. I can use them however I want, right? I tell you what, I said the whole thing about taking you guys out and about with me because if I didn't say it publicly, I wouldn't necessarily do it. So now that I've said it publicly, it kind of forces me to have to go out and actually do it. And it is really nerve-wracking. I've been thinking to myself that I wanted to go do kind of out and about. Um, oh, good morning, Jolie. Good to have you here. Um, I've been thinking that I want to take you guys out and about, but it is just kind of a weird feeling to think of talking in public. Um, I don't know. But I'm going to get over my fear and I'm going to do it. And so, yep, by saying it publicly now, I guess I have to do it. Instead of doing my typical meal bar, I'm thinking I might use this one. Because this has got all of the, because normally I put my meals here. I think I'm just going to stick this on and use this. We're using a kit today, Jolie. I'm trying to use up some stickers. So we're just going to stick that in like that. I don't always use stickers uh, like to this extent, but I get these sticker kits because they're just so darn cute. I mean, look at this. This is just adorable. And so then I get them and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So this is me trying to figure out, um, what I'm going to do with it all. Oh, cool. You're setting up next week too. Awesome. Um, that's fantastic. I love it. Jolie, I was saying we got these balloons here because there's a balloon race in St. Louis, and Keisha challenged me to take you guys with me to go look at the hot air balloons. I've never been to this balloon race, so I'm not sure if it's any good, but I guess we'll find out together. So I'm looking at these stickers, and I have these two bubbles, and I have two calls this week with two of my friends. So I'm going to use these bubbles for those calls because that seems like a perfect use for them. I have one on Thursday at 1. So we'll stick that there. And then I have one on Wednesday at 4. Oh my gosh, you were married in a hot air balloon. That's so awesome. How cool. I bet that made for some amazing pictures. Um, when I was a kid, we used to have a 4th of July festival in the town I grew up in that was right down the street from me, and they always had a hot air balloon. And I used to get to kind of look at the hot air balloons every year. I always wanted to go up in them, but I never did. When you got married in the balloon, did you get to go up in it or was it still tethered? All right. So those are my two calls. That made that really, really easy. And I feel very comfortable going, covering 2 hours here because we do get chatty, my friends and I. So I know you guys probably can't imagine that I'm chatty at all. Uh, let's see. What if we take these and maybe use them as they were kind of intended on the weekend to kind of, I don't get up at 6 on the weekend, so we can cover up 6 o'clock on the weekend there. That way it'll kind of tie in the stickers all the way across like that. And let's see. What else have we got going on? We got our markers for the week. And I usually, again, like to put these here in the bottom. And that way I can make sure that I like the colors before I go using them all over my page. Because I picked out the colors that I thought I was going to like, but what if I don't? um, and then that kind of gray for the meerkat. And I'm going to go scroll down here to my description because I wrote in what colors I was using so that I wouldn't have to look them up live. So we have 977, 993 on the yellow, the green is 312, and the neutral one is N89 for that gray. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use those colors yet, but I will figure it out. Let's see. All right, so we have got, I've got a few things going on this week. So I'm going to try and coordinate this the best I can. I really haven't done any pre-planning because I usually just plan as I go. So I'm going to use the green for the job search block. Having a block on my calendar for job search has been helpful. I have actually been using that time for that purpose. And it also gives me a window to let people know when they want to do an interview that that's my preferred time. And it keeps me getting up in the morning, so I'm not, and my tendency, if I don't have to get up, is to sleep in a lot. I am not so much a morning girl. And so I will sleep in for a really long time, and then all of a sudden I'll get a job and I'll have to be up early, and I'll hate my first week on the job. So if I can keep getting up early to do this, that'll keep me in the habit of being up and awake at that time. And then maybe we'll take this kind of more muted color for some of these background things. I really also have been enjoying my coffee out on the balcony. It's getting a little hotter here again, and we're back into summer, so that's why we get the why we get the desert this week, because it is going to be in the 90s for most of the week, I think. Or it was supposed to be when I pre-looked it up. We'll see what it's going to be today when I get to weather. You're a night owl too. I am also a night owl. It is, if I had it my way, I'd probably go to bed around 2 or 3. And I just have to keep myself from doing that. I still do that occasionally on the weekends, but if I do that during the week, then it just gets to be too much. So one trick I have, if you guys are fairly new to using colors and stickers and all of that kind of thing, is if you get a set of stickers and you pick your colors based on a sticker, the colors are all going to look good together and coordinate. Oh, it's still Saturday. You haven't been to sleep yet? Yep. I get that. I get that very much. Well, happy Saturday to you. I would still be asleep if my alarm hadn't gone off saying, you got to get online and do a plan with me. So again, you guys are helping keep me in that habit too on Sundays. Let's see. So we have got that in there. And I think I'm going to use this brown. But what I was saying is if you're new to colors and color theory and matching colors, or you just don't want to think about it, having a washi or a, a sticker or something that has some color to it is really nice, even if you don't use it on the page, for helping you pick out colors. So if you're ever trying to get into colors and using them, that's a great way to go. All right, so I've put in the morning. Now in the afternoon, I've been trying to go 1 to 4 with filming YouTube stuff. And I've been doing some writing in that time. So we're gonna have to go around this little sticker. That's okay. There we go. And obviously I'm not gonna do that on Thursday, but I'm gonna, just to give it kind of a cohesive look to it, oops, I'm going to pull it over into Thursday a little bit. And there's my, when I make mistakes, I just use this kind of normal Bic whiteout tape and cover it. It could be for mistakes or even like a changed plan. And so I'm gonna kind of do that to transition. Make a little bit thinner line and then kind of bring it into the big line. I'm not sure if I'm going to self-publish. It's going to be, it's fantasy about a young girl. She doesn't, it's not it's not really Harry Potter-ish. She's a little bit older, but she finds herself in a place that people don't think exists in reality. And she finds herself there within our world. I'm trying to think how much I can say without giving the story away. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I would prefer to go the traditional route. I'm one of those people that, I'll trust the people that have years and years and years of experience um, over my own brain. I think that's probably best, but I don't know. But I have been doing some writing, and I was kind of stalled, so it was nice to get over that hump um, and get back into it. Um, I just finished a fiction book that was a really short, kind of quick, easy read. It was called The Crone of Midnight Embers for a book club meeting that I went to yesterday. And it was like under 300 pages, which is really short for me because I'm usually reading these epic fantasies that are, 600, 700 pages. Um, and so having something short and really easy to read. It was kind of a nice change of pace. It wasn't particularly complex, and the wording and the dialogue was fairly basic, but it was an entertaining read. It kept me interested all the way through. And it's the first in a series, so that was nice. All right, I am trying to think of what else I need on here. I know we're going to start filling in with other things, but before I forget, here we go. Okay, so she's got these little check boxes. If you have a particular habit that you want to track, and I'm going to put one of those here because I want to have kind of an official no spend week. And so I'm just going to write in no spend. Uh, For me, a no spend week means like nothing that's not budgeted. So if it's budgeted already, like groceries or something like that, that I have to do, then that's fine. But no spend is, not doing anything outside of that. All right. So I'm going to go in again with this brown. This is going to be kind of a heavily brown, I think. I'm keeping the yellow for when I'm in my car because I really do like having a color for when I need to be in the car. And I didn't have that this week. So I'm thinking it would be nice to have it. Because then it really stands out that I'm going to be out and about. So we're going to put date night. We ended up getting out a lot this week. Oh, your tracker is no YouTube until Saturday. Oh, wow. That's that's a big one. I'd have a hard time with that, I think. Good for you. That's awesome. Uh, Obviously, I mean, I love having you pop up on my channel and comments and everything, but I totally get it. It can be definitely it can be a lot. It can kind of infiltrate everything in your life if you let it. Um, So the Tombows, I have had this set of Tombows. I'll bring over I've had this set of Tombows here for 5 years. And I have extras of some of the ones that I use a lot. I have not needed them yet. And as you can see, I use them all the time. I have not needed to replace a marker. I haven't had one dry out on me yet. And I use them constantly. Um, but I got most of my markers in 2020. That was when I got kind of really into making things cute. And I think I did have a few Tombows before that, but I got the bulk of my Tombows in 2020. Um, and they're, I can't tell what the number is anymore without my swatch sheet, but they're well used and well loved, but they are going strong. Um, I think the only one, I shouldn't say that, I have replaced one. Um, and it is so it is so worn that there is nothing on here, like no color at all. This is uh, an N60, and I keep two of these handy. This N60, I use this gray a lot. So that is one that I have replaced. I have gone through a full one of these. I think I want to say I replaced it last year. And with the other one that I showed you that has writing on it. Um, but I haven't needed to replace any of the others. I also use these for stamps. So if I ever need to use a rubber stamp, you can just color right on the stamp with these and they stamp really nicely. So that's one of the other advantages to having this kind of marker around. I like it a lot. All right, let's look at the rest of this week because I've got a lot going on. I'm going to take this green again for Friday because I'm going to connect with the local AIA. So I am in architecture. I went back to school for architecture at 40, like a crazy person, because and got my degree. And so I am working on becoming an architect. I'm not there yet, but I am hoping that that will come soon. I have a couple tests that I have to take, 6 of them, actually. Um, oh, oh, hoo hoo. I've not heard of those, but they don't stay juicy. That's not good. Yeah, these are fantastic. I've really loved these. I use them constantly and they're always nice and juicy. I always have them with the brush tip up. That's how I store them in that container that I brought over. Um, it is, I've never had an issue. So that's interesting. I hate when you get a bad marker set though. That's just awful. Um, I used to have Pigma markers because of the architecture thing. In architecture school, a lot of people end up using Pigma markers, and those were great, but they don't work well in um, journals. Most journals don't have it. Uh, so you're a designer. What are you in interiors, or what kind of designing do you do, Keisha? So here's where my brain is pulling out this green color for AIA. I think that's where I was going with this, is that it's related to the job search and jobs. And so green to me means work because that's where the money comes from. And so that is why the green is being used here in that. And then it's going to tie into this little balloon down here, which will be nice. Um, but that's why green is for AIA when all the other kind of afternoon evening stuff looks to be a different color. I am going to add in the plan with me, and Keisha, since you requested it, next week I'm going to do 10 o'clock on the plan with me, but I'm going to have to be a little bit brief because I do have something at 11. Actually, let's maybe make that. Can we do, oh, interior designer, stylist, and graphic designer. Oh, nice. I like that. I love graphic design. I was in marketing for a while, and there's a lot of graphic design involved there. I think I'm going to do this at 9:30 next week. We'll do 9:30. I'm supposed to be somewhere at 11, and I'm afraid that if I go to 11, that I'll be late. I need to get there as well. And it's downtown. So we'll do 9:30, and then I'm going to have to be not quite so long-winded next week so that I can get out the door in time for my 11. So we'll write in plan with me live. One thing that always comes with Helen's kits are these cute little a cute little emoji with a little Hobonichi planner. I may not have a Hobonichi this year, but I just think that's adorable for the plan with me's. So that's where that's going to live. I've been taking a little break at lunch and I've been liking that. I keep trying to put something in there like hypnosis or working out or something like that, or the gym. But I've really just been liking taking a little break at lunch. When I worked, I didn't take a lunch ever. So that's been really interesting to me that I've been enjoying that so much. I have a picnic on Saturday. And you know what? I don't know how long this is going to last, the picnic. But I'm going to have to get there. It says it's until 4. I'm going to say we're probably going to cut it a little bit early. So let's maybe put it to there and use one of these little arrow stickers here. I don't use these all that often because I have a really hard time. Okay, since the designer in you is going to appreciate this with the designer in me, it bothers me when it's not straight. I know it's okay for it to be a little wonky, but I don't use them very often because it has to be straight for me. I need it to be straight. Okay, I think that's good. I used the line. I lined it up with the line. It should be fine. It's at least good enough that it's not bothering me. And then, let's see, we've got some out and about. So for this one, for my 11, I'm just going to do it like this. That'll go till 1. And this is the St. Louis Girls Network, which is a fantastic Facebook group that I found when we moved here. Really, really nice, active group of females that get together for various events, and they talk a lot on Facebook. It's great. But that is the book club meeting specifically. And this is, we're going to the picnic. and coming home. A bit of a drive for that. I'm going to get out my little gray here and mark 3 hours. We're going to kind of overlap it a bit. And this is when my partner's going to want to watch the Colts game. I am not going to watch the Colts game, but he will. So I just kind of like to have that in there so I know that I'm not planning anything in the way of the game for him. What else? Oh, we need to get groceries. Maybe we can do dinner. Since this is dinner out, it gets to be yellow. Because I'm out and about. I drive a yellow car. So this is why all of the out and about stuff tends to be yellow. Good dinner and then groceries. Now, I am not sure when the balloon races are. I should probably look and see. Maybe there's some information on that online. Open up a browsing tab. Okay, there's a website. So we'll open that and see. Oh, you gotta love when they say that the glow begins at dusk. Well, that's great. When is dusk? That's not a time on my calendar. There's nowhere that says dusk on my calendar. Now I have to look up sunset. What time sunset is. All right. All right, for me, the sunset today is at 7:17. So maybe if we get there around 7. Put a block here, and then it says that the flight window is between 4:30 and 6 on Saturday. So maybe we'll go on the way home from the picnic because that is kind of on the way. So put balloon glow here and balloon rice here. There we go. I don't know exactly when we're going to go to those things, but that'll at least keep it on my brain. Otherwise, I'll just forget entirely. and then we'll miss it all. And since I've told you I would bring you along, I can't miss it. Uh, okay. So I think I should put in that this is going to be meals over here. And I will add in, this is one of those grays that I really like also because it is gray, but when you put it with something like this, it kind of almost looks like a brown. Almost. It's kind of a tan gray. But then if I use it with blacks and such, it ends up looking more gray. All right. So I think for the most part, that is what my week is going to look like. Um, I'm going to write, I usually put here, if I'm going to be out, I'll do it with this nice light gray. This is a Stadler fine liner. And I got a huge box full of these because I ordered, I thought I was just getting one, and it was a box of 12. And this is still the first one I'm using. So this one lasts for a really long time too. Stadler is a good company. We used it a lot in architecture school. Oh, I've got a couple highlights that I need to put in. So this, we're getting into, as we get into September, I have got Malcolm Day. My partner's name is Malcolm, and so we celebrate Malcolm Day and Becky Day. I think everybody that's been in design school loves the Stetlers. I think we get indoctrinated into them when we're in design school, and they're so good you can't not like them. This is just their that kind of light gray color. And so I use it in place of pencil for little things that I don't really want to show up, but I want that information on there. So we go out to eat usually on Tuesday for date night and then on Sunday. So I usually write in so that way I know I don't have to plan food for those days. Um, Anyway, I was saying that we celebrate Malcolm Day and Becky Day, and we just looked up online that when is National Malcolm Day and Becky Day. And so Malcolm Day is on September 15th. And so he gets usually to go out to dinner. We might combine them in we might combine that with date night this time. I don't know. We'll see. And then I've got a couple birthdays this week. So I've got one there, one on Saturday, Sunday. So this is Jerry and Sean. Having these up at the top always just keeps it top of mind so I remember to wish people happy birthday. All right. That everything. We've got already a pretty crowded weekend, so I don't think we're going to make it to the Ren Fair this weekend. Yep, he's definitely going to milk Malcolm Day for all it's worth. It's just a fun little tradition. His birthday is in the spring, and so and my birthday is in the summer, and Becky Day is right around Christmas. And so we each kind of get a special day every half a year. And so it's just become kind of a fun, it started as a joke and it became really just a fun tradition that we enjoy. All right, let's start putting in the weather. We have got 93 and 64. It's warm here during the day, but the nights are still getting cool. So that's tells me fall's coming faster than I probably would like. I'm definitely a summer warm weather person. I don't know about you. I would imagine in Southern California you get some nice weather all year, hopefully. Okay, 83. Yeah, see, it's going to start cooling off by the end of the week. Kind of that last breath of summer, it looks like. All right. So I don't know if I have showed you before, but I have these. I got these on Amazon. This very cute little stamp set. And it has all of the kind of, has all the weather. So we've got like a super hot sun and then just regular sun, clouds, a little umbrella with one raindrop for when it's slightly raining. Oh, see, I would love that. I do not like winter at all. I am not I'm not one of those people that gets excited for pumpkin spice season because winter's coming. I would love it if it was summer all the time. Um, then I have the heavy rain, and then if it's really windy, um, and then I can just take these. You can take them out if you want and stamp, or you can leave them right where they are, and they'll stamp right through the bottom. Um, they're kind of self-inked stamps. It's going to be pretty toasty today. So I'll use Mr. Sunshine here. But these are just really cute for recording the weather. The only thing that I don't love about these, and one of the reasons why I don't have them in my description as one of my favorites. Oh, you like the fall fashion. I get that. I do have a friend who lives in Arizona now, but lived in Southern California, and she loved like boots and sweaters and things like that. And now that she's in Arizona, she doesn't really get to wear them very much anymore. But I love this. This is very convenient, this little stamp set. But one of the reasons why I don't keep it in my favorites is because it does kind of bleed through. And on some weeks, it bleeds through too much. So this week, the paper was pretty good. This Tombow River paper that was in Hobonichi and Sterling ink and a lot of these planners in 2025 was kind of hit or miss. Um, and so certain pages have bled through a bit more than others, which I haven't had a huge problem with, but I have had a little bit where I've noticed it, especially with this stamp. So I also have just regular, I have this little box here on my desk with just the regular stamps. And I can pull these out and ink these up with a Tombow and use these. So I'll just kind of pick what I'm doing and do the same thing throughout the week. Some weeks I'm really, really good about it. And some weeks I fall off as we get to the end of the week, you know. Sometimes I use these little stickers, these from the Coffee Monsters Co. Sometimes I use the stamps. Sometimes I use the bigger stamps. It all just kind of depends on my mood. Um, Last week it was these stamps. I don't know what I'll do this week. I'm thinking we're not supposed to get rain or anything, and that I used the orange this week because it looked so good with the orange in the spread, and I knew it was just going to be sunny most of the week. So it worked really well. I suppose the orange would work fine with this as well. So I'll probably just use that again. When we get done with the live stream, I can link this little weather stamp in the description for today. But again, I'm not going to keep it in my favorites list because it does kind of bleed through. And I know a lot of people don't like that in their planner, and I don't necessarily want to have it just in a general description where I'm not giving that caveat that you can see it through, more so than most pens and such. So like I can't really see the pens very clearly, but I can see that very clearly through. All right, so I think that is everything that I need to have on here. So now I'm going to add a couple little stickers just to make it fun. We are going to go in here and find a book sticker for the book club. And I have these that have that kind of reddish brownish color to them. These are from Olivia Planner Factory. Just a basic little book there, but I think that that color works well because it'll pick up that pink from the balloon. And I don't think I'll put anything in for the AIA meeting. But let's add in something for date night. I tend to keep my stickers kind of tabbed by activity. So these binders